If Snoop Dogg looked a little happy at the Super Bowl, it wasn't just because he was smoking weed before. It's because he just purchased Death Row Records. And this is really exciting because Death Row Records was the label that launched his career in 1993. And so I need to give you a brief history so that you can truly appreciate this story. In 1998, he left the label over a contract dispute and the alleged withholding of royalty payments. The label went bankrupt in 2006 and was auctioned off to Wide Awake Entertainment. It was then sold to E1 and was acquired by Blackstone after that. And now in 2022, Snoop owns the label and the ability to monetize his work and the work of others who a lot of the albums on that label are made by some of his close friends, some who were performing with him at the Super Bowl. And what he's going to do is take that label into the Metaverse. So he wants to be the first NFT music label, the first major record label in the Metaverse. Snoop has been a rapper that has been very much in the public eye, I think, when it comes to NFTs in the Metaverse. I know there are a lot of other musicians still trying to learn about it. But this was a really exciting story for me. I think the whole idea behind Web3 is being able to own your content, own your data, and monetize it. And so this felt like an awesome redemption story if you know the history behind Snoop and what he went through with Death Row. Zach, I'm tossing this down to you. What did you take away from the story?
Yeah, that was a great history. Thank you for that. You got to get the Suge Knight stuff in there next time. But other than that, that was A+.
We didn't have time
I think it's super interesting, and obviously, no, it's good. It's all good. So anyway, yeah, it's very interesting to see this happening. Snoop Dogg obviously has been sort of, again, one of those leading edge entertainers who have really like embraced the space. There are some unconfirmed reports that he's also like a massive NFT collector, one of the more prominent non-NFT collectors on the internet. That may or may not be true. It's not confirmed yet. But the fact that he's doing this and sort of continuing to, invest in this space in a way that is potentially meaningful, super interesting, right? Whether or not this makes his sandbox activation like the place to be, time will tell. But the fact that he's, again, doubling down on NFT and Metaverse around music specifically this time stood out to me, and again, does speak to, the ownership economy in a way that is very in keeping with the current conversation. So those are my thoughts. Well, how about you?
Conspiracy that he was actually a huge Ethereum whale. There was some conspiracy on Twitter that Snoop Dogg owned a very large anonymous Twitter account that was known for its trading tips, and that he owned a ton of ETH along with the NFT collection. And I don't think anyone got to the bottom of it, which really just brings you back to the whole point of decentralized money and being anonymous and like kind of protecting your own bag here. I don't think it was true, but I think it was like a fantastic rumor in a sense. It's just hilarious to think of Snoop Dogg really digging it up on crypto Twitter with everybody else and LARPing below like Inverse Bro and stuff like that. This story, I think, brings more attention to the NFT space in a way that we haven't seen in the past. So let's just like rewind the clock. And Jen, I love what you did with like the history of the rap group here, but also the history of NFTs. Last year we've seen in January, February, we saw this initial pump with NBA Top Shot. And then we saw a lot of these PFP, the profile picture NFTs pop up kind of at the end of the summer. And then through the end of this year, we've seen a lot more of these brands get involved and even these music labels. And so I think if you kind of look at like that arch of the three things so far we've seen with NFTs, this one probably has the most money behind it. Snoop Dogg obviously has a big bag. And if we see more music labels take this technology and run with it, I think you could see NFTs continue to be a mainstay within crypto and maybe even bring some more mainstream adoption. The amount of people I've talked to this year who got into crypto because of NFTs is astounding. The way someone put it to me recently is it's probably the best medium for onboarding crypto users ever. I mean, there's always been problems with wallets. There's always been problems with seed phrases. There's always been problems with sending crypto. NFTs is very simple. It's like, oh, I have like this picture in my wallet and I have a little password with it and it's mine. I don't need to share it with anybody. I can show if I want to somebody. It just makes sense to most people in a way that crypto, Bitcoin, a lot of these things, they're not intuitive. So I think something like Snoop Dogg coming into this space is only more bullish. And of course, after I say this in like a week, the whole market's gonna like drop and there's gonna be the bucket's just gonna collapse. So I'll throw it back to you.
No, man, I think that's a great point. Just the fact that like, culture is the leading edge here, right? Finance is kind of dorky and like meh, But once Web3 intersected with culture, all of a sudden, oh, okay, wow, people are opening their eyes to it in a new way, which I think is quite fascinating, and certainly the story of 2021 and NFTs. Sandali, I think your hand, I don't even know, but Sandali, take it away.
I just wanted to, I totally agree with what Jenn said, and I think that if artists and record labels, particularly one with this kind of history with Snoop, are coming in and setting up NFT collections which are verified and legitimate, it could like help vamp up how NFT royalties work, and when it comes to music as well, how all this is going to play out. And I think it's like super exciting. I was worried a little bit that, you know, record labels have a long history and reputation for exploiting artists, and when they move into the metaverse, they're going to bring all that with them. But I think, Jenn, you made a great point with like the history he had with his label and how he wants to change that. I think this is going to go in a good direction. So I'm very hopeful. I'm gonna give it back to Zach. I see you now. Yeah, that's
Always
right.
bullish on Snoop.